All right, welcome back to 30 with the team. Our final topic today is something fun. Well, for some people, we're going to talk about school because it is back to school time. That's a pretty big subject. I'd like to talk about first, what was everyone's favorite thing about going back to school? Now, I have a feeling as I assess this table, we all went to school at different times.
I was going to say, I feel a little bit uncomfortable sitting with the rest of you guys and talking about our school experiences because things probably changed drastically when you guys were in middle school and then.
Yeah, you should watch what you say. But but I'm going to go to Rudy first because he's over there, and it's rude to point, but I did.
What did I?
What was your favorite thing about going back to school?
You know what?
I feel like you were a nerd, so.
No. I didn't like necessarily going back to school. I like summers, Blair. You know what? The first few weeks of the weather. That's all I really like is that fall section. That's still kind of summer, and you can play outside for recess, and it was all good. That I like that.
Yeah. I like seeing people again that I hadn't seen all summer. I spent a lot of time out at the cabin when I was young, so you wouldn't see all your friends a lot of the time. Maybe the birthday party here and there, but it was great to have everyone together again. And then as time goes on, you realize, oh wait, it's school, and then it's just a big downer.
Kevin had a very safe answer there. I appreciate
Am
that.
I the only person who loved new school supplies?
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh,
I was
thank
way
God.
too
Nerd
excited
alert.
there.
Yeah, no. I like smell the pencils and I flip the loose
I
leaf.
never
and
got joy of it.
love it. I love it.
That was the best part for me.
Wilson's, shopping at Wilson's.
I just love, the problem is I love shopping. That was
Yeah.
the thing. And there was always like, you wanted to buy like the best stuff. I had this great like lunch kit that had like the Joker and Batman on it, sticker. Oh man, I loved it.
I have a Gremlins lunch kit.
Oh, see, that's pretty
Still
good.
use
But
it.
I mean, I was the worst because I would have it. It would all look nice for like 2 days, and then it would just be in my desk. And
Well, yes, that did happen. But it's still
My
smelled
favorite
good.
is back to school wardrobe.
Yeah, I knew that was going to
course.
be.
of course,
Yes,
Kill
I know,
Caprice.
I know.
But the thing is, fall time is that great. Actually, fall time is my
Yeah.
favorite season for clothes because you can layer. Even though I'm a
Yes.
generally warm person, I still like the fall
But
layers.
there was that one piece, right, that you had to have that was fashion then, and if you didn't have that.
What was the hottest item when you were in high school? Other than you. Boom!
Want to know
That's
what's back?
for Sean
Good answer.
My son says to me, he goes,
cut
what's a
that.
pinroll? And I'm like, oh yeah, the pinroll's back. You know when you used to make your jeans, like cinch them in with safety pins? They're totally back.
You're kidding.
Totally back.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what we used to do when I was in
Yeah.
high school.
Man.
Cinch our jeans.
And red flannels come back.
Yes, that's true.
Why
But-
red flannel?
Red flannel.
All right, I feel like we're getting
Grunge.
down the rabbit hole. Okay, so because
Grunge.
I don't know things, so then I'd learn them too fast. So let's talk about how is it now. This cuts the three of us out, anyways. What is it like for your kids to go to school?
They love it. They can't wait to be rid of me at the end of summer. They've had enough of me. They want their friends. They want recess. They want gym. All that stuff. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I love having them. Over the summer we do a lot of lake stuff and a lot of family travel and stuff. But I'm ready to get back to routine. Like my days are chaos during the summer, and I like the routine. I like the knowing that I can drop them off at this time, pick them up here, and then I have all this time to work and do stuff. And it's they appreciate the routine as well.
I live with a teacher, so I hear about some of this stuff. My girlfriend's a teacher. I think, and this has changed completely since I was even in school, but just the usage of technology now for these kids, they're learning so much off of iPads, and there's no real computer room apparently anymore. All these kids are just there's
have
computers in front. They have and even projectors are different and stuff
Smart
like
boards
that.
and stuff, yeah.
So I think it makes probably the learning experience a heck of a lot easier. I would have loved to have lived in a time like that, but I think that's kind of been the biggest change from what I've heard. And it would have been interesting to attend school at a time like that.
Yeah, you know what? I like scribblers, pencils, pens, something solid
That's the
instead of
best
that.
way. Instead of that's the thing. I mean, but that's the way the world is going.
I know.
Do you feel? What are some of your concerns about? We can answer this too, obviously, well, because we're going to. About what are some of the concerns that you see when you see kids in school? We do a lot of stories in schools. We see. What are some of the concerns you have for kids in
think
schools?
that it's too easy. Some of the stuff, like when you Google makes things too easy. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
I think that there's something about the search and
The card catalog?
maybe not even the card catalog, but
Libraries.
the ability to go out and find something and find information on your own without having to just type in the sentence on Google and it pops up, right?
Yeah.
There's a bit of frustration you have to go through. There's a bit of actually maybe you go to the library
Well,
on your
and
hands.
vetting those sources, right? That you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
on
that,
Google.
that too.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
it's just I think that you lose that with some of the technology.
I think teachers definitely have conversations about that. So as much as technology helps out, there's some challenges. Is well, how do we
Fact check.
How do
You know?
well,
Yeah, exactly.
But how do we get the kids thinking that way too?
And just the creative process. I know that I spend all my time on computers or cell phones or whatever, but I find that my creativity almost like flourishes when I can step away from that for a while, and my brain just has time to kind of shut off and expand and think and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I think kids really need that time as well, and I hope that they get that in current
Yeah,
curriculum.
and it's like playtime. Like just
Yeah.
nobody does that anymore, right? There's videos, there's phones. I mean, they need to be stimulated, I think, outside of the video world, outside of the information world,
Yeah.
and just really kind of zone out and be a kid.
And just learning to be,
Yeah.
learning to daydream, learning to think, and just having some time inside your own mind. I don't
'cause
think
we
kids
know.
have enough of that.
No.
Like I say to my kids, say I'm bored, and I say I can give you something if you want to be.
Are you really bored?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you really bored?
Yeah.
So, and I think too, as adults, we all try to find that balance. There's buzzwords, well-being and health, wellness, and stuff like that. And I think it starts at an early age, because mental illness has come to the forefront.
And even when I was in school,
Yeah.
you would never even think about the topics of depression and mental illness. I think it's a big factor now.
Yeah.
It's like how the teachers treat these kids in terms of punishment or something. Well, maybe there's something else going on there that 10,
See, there's-
15 years ago you'd
And
punish
just-
this
and
kid and
just
you
the
wouldn't even
peer-
think of
the
what else
peer
is
things
going
that are
on.
happening with social media.
That's
and
where I
stuff,
was going
right?
to go.
For
That's
sure.
what I was wondering about.
Yeah.
Like, what are the
Or the bullying,
stresses?
yeah.
Not even just from like teachers and homework and stuff like that. What are some
Just
of
the
the stresses
social
about
pressure.
heading in? As a parent, that would terrify. That would be
Yeah.
scary. I think
Yeah.
because essentially you're putting your kid out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not leaving it to the
And
sharks.
they feel like they need to be on social media, and it's funny because I run a social media agency, and people think that my kids are all over social media. And the fact is, I say social media will add nothing positive to a child's life. So I say that to every parent I know, because there's nothing positive about social media for a child under 18. And there are so many risks and hazards associated with it that the benefits do not outweigh the risks. And when you talk about mental health issues being the leading cause of anxiety and depression and stress for young people, a lot of that is tied to social media and their tethering to these phones, their dependency on this technology, as opposed to being in the world, being present with books, with art, with music,
having conversation.
having conversation, and learning to navigate emotional minefields with talking, with seeing somebody face to face and exchanging facial expressions and tone of voice, and all of the art of conversation and social expression being lost in this generation. So I think we need to kind of rein that in as much as we can as parents, and really push our kids to look at the human side versus the
Yes.
technology side.
And I've heard of local school divisions here who are making the teachers all get a Twitter account.
Yes.
So they're not even bothering with thinking of those changes. They're like
Yeah.
just going ahead with this technology train, and they're like, hey, everyone get on Twitter. So they're not thinking of, I guess, alternative ways. But
Sad.
I think school's obviously a great time, and you can make a lot of great memories as you're moving through. And we got a little heavy, but I think it's important that there are stresses that I think parents need to realize. And I think we, as a society, that we do put stresses on kids and schooling and marks. It can be heavy. We think about it when we were going through it. It was like, what am I going to do for recess? But like, these literally are the steps that lead into your future, and you got to find the enjoyment as much as the achievement to go with it. And I think you have to. I like, not being a parent, I just think the biggest thing is like, whenever I do a story about a student that's doing something amazing, I'm always like, oh man, that is so cool. I wish I would have had the initiative to do that. Because you see kids that are doing things and I'm like, what? We went to one where kids were like just building hovercrafts, and I was like, I could barely make mac and cheese like when I was in high school. So I think
I still can.
that's okay. It's not very good for you anyways. Sorry, Kraft.
And kids these days are so smart. Like, they are so much more advanced than I think we ever. And their style sense, their fashion sense just blows us out of the water. Like, it's incredible, right? But I think you're right in the sense that there's a lot of untapped potential in those young people that perhaps would be even more able to flourish more if those stresses were fewer.
Yeah, I think let's just enjoy school. Everyone out there, enjoy school. It is fun. There are
on,
a lot of good
kids.
things. Stay in school as well, just to throw some other cliches
Yeah.
at you. And there's a lot of life skills. And the school isn't every like you do your main school. You don't always have to do post secondary. There's a lot of stuff and a lot of paths you could take. So always
Yeah.
be open minded for what your future can possibly
And
hold
to
for
have
you.
fun. High school is not forever. And people are not who they are in high school for the rest of their lives. You have the rest of your life to explore who you want to be and what you want to be. So don't feel like you have to choose that so
Exactly.
early
And
and
they
so
do
young.
all.
People who say that high school is the best time of their life have boring lives.
What he said, yeah.
All right, well, that about does it for this episode of 30 with the team. Thank you, everyone at this table. Thank you, Susan,
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
It was great
If
fun.
you guys have any ideas of what you would like us to discuss, you can send it to any of our Twitter handles. I'm not going to go through them all, but you can definitely send us a little message, and hopefully we'll discuss your topic on the show. And we'll see you next time.